day I opened that DNA envelope in a hospital chapel, while my daughter recovered from surgery I paid for, I stopped being the man who forgave everything. The envelope was white, standard size, lab logo in the corner. The kind of envelope that changes lives. I'd been holding it for 3 days, waiting for the right moment. There is no right moment for this. The chapel was empty. Someone had left a card on the altar. God is with you in your trials. I picked it up, read it twice, set it back down. God wasn't the one who lied to me for 7 years. My hands shook when I broke the seal. It made a sound, quiet, final, like something ending. The paper inside was thick, expensive, the kind labs use so results feel official. I didn't read the introduction, didn't need the methodology. My eyes went straight to the number. Probability of biological paternity, swiped 8% 0.00. I read it again. The number didn't change. 8 years of birthdays, 8 years of midnight fevers and school plays and teaching her to ride a bike. 8 years of being called daddy. 0%. The chaplain walked past the door, saw me sitting there, kept walking. Maybe he knew. Maybe people sit in chapels with DNA results more often than I thought. Emma was 3 floors up, recovering from an appendectomy. She'd asked for me when she woke up, called for daddy. The nurse said she'd been asking every 10 minutes. I folded the paper. Once, twice, slid it back in the envelope, stood up. How does a father stop being a father? And should he, even when biology says he never was? I had kept every receipt, every document, every proof of being her father. Hospital bills, school enrollment forms, insurance cards with her name next to mine. 7 years of paperwork that said Marcus Chen was Emma's father, except the one that mattered, the biology. If you've ever had a moment that split your life into before and after, you know what I'm talking about. This was mine. 8 years earlier, I didn't know any of this was coming. The wedding was small, spring ceremony in a garden, 70 guests, Jessica in white. I wore gray. My mother wore navy and an expression I couldn't read. She'd pulled me aside that morning. Marcus, are you sure? I'd laughed. Mom, I'm getting married in 3 hours. A little late for that question. She'd touched my face. I just want you to be certain, that's all. I was certain. I was 26 years old and I'd found someone who wanted to build a life with me. Someone who said she loved me. Someone who made me feel like I was enough. The ceremony was perfect. Jessica cried during her vows. I cried during mine. We promised forever. We meant it. At least I meant it. The photographer took hundreds of photos. Jessica had insisted on a specific shot, the two of us holding hands, looking at each other, not at the camera. She said she wanted to remember what it felt like to look at me on that day. We framed that photo, 8 by 10 silver frame. It sat on our mantle for 7 years. I dusted it every week. I didn't know then that if I'd ever turned it over, I would have seen what Jessica had written on the back. Her handwriting in permanent marker on the backing paper, forever yours, J, 3 months and counting. The 5/12/2016. 3 months. I thought she meant 3 months of dating before I proposed. I didn't know then that 3 months wasn't about our relationship. Emma was born 9 months later. February 10th, 2017, Thursday, cold morning. Jessica's water broke at 4 a.m. We got to the hospital by 5. By 6, she was in labor and delivery, and I was in the hallway because she said she needed a minute alone. The nurse was confused. Dad can come in, honey. It's allowed. I know, Jessica said. I need a minute first. I waited. 20 minutes, 30. Finally, they called me in. Labor was fast, 6 hours. Jessica held my hand so hard I lost feeling in 3 fingers. When Emma came out, 8 pounds exactly, the whole room exhaled. The nurse cleaned her, weighed her, wrapped her in a pink blanket, and handed her to me. She's early, but healthy, the nurse said, smiling. 8 pounds. That's a good weight. I looked down at Emma. She opened her eyes, found my face. I fell in love. "Hello," I whispered. "I'm your dad. I'll never let anyone hurt you." I didn't know I was making a promise I'd have to break to keep. Jessica watched from the bed. She wasn't smiling. She looked relieved, like she'd passed a test. The nurse brought over the birth certificate paperwork. "Dad, you'll need to sign here." I reached for it. Jessica grabbed it first. "I'll handle the paperwork later," she said. "Marcus, just hold her." So I did. I held Emma for 2 hours while Jessica slept. I counted her fingers, traced the curve of her ears, memorized her face. Later, when I looked at the hospital records, I found Emma's bracelet in my keepsake box, the little pink plastic band they put on newborns. Baby girl Chen, 2/10/2017. Under the light, I could see something I hadn't noticed before. The father's name had been written, then crossed out, then rewritten. Someone had pressed hard enough to leave an indent. The nurse handed me the birth certificate to sign. Jessica grabbed it first, said she'd handle the paperwork later. 7 years passed. 7 years of being a father. I was good at it. Maybe because I'd been raised by a single mother, I knew what it looked like when someone showed up. So I showed up. Every soccer practice, every parent-teacher conference, every school play where Emma had 2 lines and forgot one of them. I was there. The other parents knew me. "Marcus, good to see you. Where's Jessica?" "Oh, work trip again? She must travel a lot." She did travel a lot. 3 days here, 4 days there. Conference in Austin. Client meeting in Denver. Team retreat in Portland. I stayed home with Emma. We had routines, pancakes on Saturday, library on Sunday, ice cream on Thursday after school, just because. Emma would draw pictures. I saved every single one, taped them to the fridge, filed them in folders, kept them in boxes in the attic. Hundreds of drawings, houses with families, rainbows, dogs we didn't have, me, always with a cape. "Why do you always draw me with a cape, Em?" "Because you're a superhero, Daddy." I kept that drawing in my wallet. School photos came home every year. Emma's smile got bigger. My smile stayed the same. Jessica appeared in fewer and fewer of them, always a reason, always work. Emma asked me once on a Thursday over ice cream, "Why doesn't Mommy come to my stuff?" I told her Mommy was busy, important job, lots of responsibilities. I should have asked myself why. The first crack appeared on a Tuesday. Jessica had left her phone on the kitchen counter. It buzzed. I glanced at it, habit, not suspicion. The message was from David, work. "Does he know about Emma yet?" I stared at that message, read it 4 times. Each time it meant the same thing. Does he know about Emma yet? The phone buzzed again. "We need to talk about timing." Another buzz. "I can't keep doing this." I picked up the phone, opened the messages, started scrolling. My hands were steady. My heart wasn't. 3 months of messages, hundreds of them, planning, coordinating, times and places, and when he takes Emma to soccer, and while he's at work, and he doesn't suspect anything, me. I photographed everything, 23 screenshots, every message that mentioned me, every message that mentioned Emma, every message that proved what I already knew but hadn't wanted to believe. Jessica came home an hour later. I was sitting at the kitchen table, phone in front of me, screenshots printed. "Hey," she said, setting her bag down. "How was your day?" "Who's David?" She froze, just for a second. Then she smiled. "David from work. I've mentioned him before." "You have?" "Sure. David Richards. He's on my team. Why?" I slid the printed messages across the table. She looked at them. Her face didn't change. That was the first time I realized how good she was at lying. "What is this?" "Messages from your phone, from David." "Marcus, those are work messages." "Does he know about Emma yet?" "That's a work message?" It's complicated. There's context you're not getting." "Then give me context." She sat down, took a breath, put on a face I'd seen before, the one she used when Emma asked why we couldn't get a puppy. Patient, reasonable, like I was the one being difficult. David and I are friends. He knows I've been stressed about us, about our marriage. He was asking if I'd talked to you yet about couples therapy. That's what "does he know about Emma yet" means. Therapy? Yes, because Emma's part of the equation. We can't just focus on us. We have to think about how therapy affects her. I looked at my wife, the woman I'd married 8 years ago, the mother of the child I'd raised, the person I'd trusted with everything. She was lying to my face, and she was good at it. "Show me your phone," I said. "What?" "Your phone. Show me the rest of the conversation with David." "Marcus, this is ridiculous. You're being paranoid." "Show me your phone or I'm walking out that door." She stared at me. 5 seconds. 10. Then she picked up her phone, unlocked it, opened messages, handed it to me. The conversation with David was gone. Deleted. All of it. "Where is it?" "Where's what?" "The conversation. The messages I just showed you." "Oh, I delete work messages. Always have. Policy." "You deleted them in the last 60 seconds. "No, I deleted them this morning before I left for work, like I always do." She didn't deny David. She denied that the message meant what it obviously meant. That's when I started keeping receipts. Have you ever been told your reality isn't real? That what you saw with your own eyes didn't happen? If you've been gaslit, just comment, "I know." You're not alone. I called my sister the next morning, Sarah, 3 years older than me, family lawyer, protective to the point of aggressive. She answered on the first ring. "Marcus, it's 6 a.m. I need your help." She heard something in my voice. "I'm coming over." Sarah arrived with coffee and a legal pad. I showed her everything, the screenshots, the deleted messages, Jessica's explanation that made no sense. She read through it all twice, set down her coffee, looked at me. "You know what this is, right? An affair." "Yeah, but there's something else here, this line. Does he know about Emma yet?" "That's not about an affair, Marcus. That's about Emma." "What do you mean?" "I mean, when was Emma born?" "February 10th, 2017. "When did you get married?" "May 12th, 2016. Sarah did the math on her legal pad. 9 months exactly. "Marcus, was Jessica pregnant at your wedding?" I opened my mouth, closed it. I don't know. She never said. "Emma was 8 pounds. The nurse said she was early but healthy." "How early?" "I don't remember." "You need to find out." Sarah leaned forward. "And you need to know who David is. Full name, where he works, everything." "Why?" "Because if he's asking, does he know about Emma yet, there's a reason, and I don't think you're going to like it." She pulled out her phone, made a call, spoke for 3 minutes, hung up. "I have a friend, private investigator. She's good, discreet. She'll find out who David is, what his relationship with Jessica looks like, and whether there's more you need to know." "Sarah, you can't afford not to. If this is what I think it is, you need documentation, you need proof, you need receipts." The investigator's name was Helen, 60 years old, former cop. She met me at a coffee shop 2 days later with a folder. "David Richards, age 36. Works at the same company as your wife, same department. They've been having an affair for at least 3 years, possibly longer. I have restaurant receipts, hotel records, and photographic evidence of them together on dates when your wife told you she was on business trips." She slid a photo across the table. Jessica and David, walking hand in hand, laughing. "When was this taken?" 2 weeks ago, while you had Emma at her soccer game." Helen opened the folder wider. "But here's what you really need to see. Timeline analysis." She laid out a calendar, marked dates, drew lines. Jessica and David started working together in October 2015. First documented interaction outside of work, November 2015. First hotel charge, December 2015. Your wedding, May 2016. Emma's birth, February 2017. She circled something. This is the conception window for a February birth, May through June 2016, my wedding month. There are two paths here, Helen said. Confirmation or discovery. Either way, you need to know. I chose knowing. A week later, I was in the attic looking for Emma's old baby clothes. She'd asked me to find her first outfit for a school project about family history. I found boxes of Jessica's things instead, packed away, labeled in her handwriting, JC personal, JC college, JC work stuff. I wasn't snooping, I was looking for baby clothes. But the box was open, the lid half off, and on top, visible, was a leather journal, burgundy. About 200 pages, lock broken. I picked it up, told myself I wouldn't read it, told myself it was wrong, told myself this was crossing a line. I opened it anyway. The first entry was dated 2015. Started new job today. Everyone seems nice. There's a guy on my team, David. He's funny. I flipped forward. David asked me to lunch today as colleagues, but he looked at me different. Forward again. We kissed. I know I shouldn't have, but Marcus and I have been fighting and David makes me feel... I sat down on the attic floor, kept reading. December 20th, 2015. This is getting serious. I think I love him, but I also love Marcus. I don't know what to do. January 5th, 2016. Marcus proposed. I said yes. I don't know why. Maybe because he's stable. Maybe because David hasn't said he wants something permanent. Maybe because I'm scared. March 15th, 2016. I missed my period. I'm late. I took a test. Positive. I don't know if it's Marcus's or David's. We're getting married in 2 months. What do I do? The pages crackled. My hands were shaking. The journal smelled like cedar and betrayal. March 20th. I talked to David. Told him I might be pregnant. He said he's not ready for kids. He said Marcus would be a better father. He said we should let Marcus think it's his. What Marcus doesn't know can't hurt him. Emma needs stability, and David isn't father material. I'm choosing Marcus. I stopped reading. Closed the journal. Opened it again. Read the entry 3 more times. The words didn't change. I'm not a bad person. I'm just protecting everyone. Marcus will be a good father. He'll love her. He'll never know. And Emma will have a stable home. This is the right choice. I kept reading. It got worse. April 2nd. Wedding planning is stressful. David wants to know if I'm going through with it. I told him yes. He said he'll wait for me. He said after the baby comes we can figure things out. He said he loves me. May 10th. 2 days until the wedding. I wrote on the back of our wedding photo, 3 months and counting. It's my little secret. 3 months pregnant. Marcus has no idea. His mother looked at me weird today. I think she knows, but she won't say anything. February 11th, 2017. Emma was born yesterday. She's beautiful. Marcus cried when he held her. He thinks she's his. The nurse tried to get him to sign the birth certificate right away, but I grabbed it. Told him I'd handle it later. I needed time to think. David came by the hospital. He looked at her through the nursery glass. He didn't come in. He couldn't, but he texted me, "She has my eyes." Marcus didn't notice. She wrote pages about choosing the wedding venue. 1 sentence about lying to me forever. The math didn't add up. I brought the journal downstairs, set it on the kitchen table, waited for Jessica to come home. She walked in at 7. Emma was at a sleepover. We were alone. "We need to talk," I said. "About?" I slid the journal across the table. Her face went white. "Where did you find that?" "Attic, looking for Emma's baby clothes. For her school project, you remember, the one about family history." "Marcus, I read it. All of it." She sat down, slowly. "Then you know." "I know you were pregnant at our wedding. I know you weren't sure if Emma was mine or David's. I know you chose to let me believe she was mine because David wasn't ready and I was stable. It's not... I know you've been lying to me for 8 years." She looked at the journal. At me. At the journal. Say something. I said, "What do you want me to say?" "The truth. For once, just tell me the truth." She took a breath. "Fine. Yes, I was pregnant when we got married. Yes, I didn't know if the baby was yours or David's. Yes, I made a choice." "You made a choice." "I chose you. I chose stability. I chose what was best for Emma." "You chose what was best for you." "That's not fair." I laughed, no humor in it. "Fair? Jessica, you let me raise a child for 7 years not knowing if she was mine. You let me pay for everything. You let me love her. You let me be her father. And the whole time, you knew. You knew there was a chance she wasn't mine. She is yours, in every way that matters. Except biology. Biology doesn't make you a father. Showing up makes you a father. Then why did you hide it? Why did you lie?" She didn't answer. "You'll never be able to prove it," she said finally. I looked at my wife, this woman I'd built a life with, this stranger. "Watch me." The words came out cold, final. "We're doing a DNA test." Jessica stood up, knocked over her chair. "You can't." "I can. I am." "It'll destroy Emma." "You already did that. I'm just finding out how much." She left, grabbed her keys, walked out, didn't come back that night. I sat at the kitchen table, held the journal, read it again. Emma deserved the truth. Even if the truth destroyed everything, would you have demanded the test immediately or waited? Be honest. The DNA test kit arrived 3 days later. Simple box, 2 swabs, instructions, a prepaid envelope. I stared at it for an hour. This was the point of no return. Once I opened this box, once I swabbed Emma's cheek and mine, once I sent it to the lab, everything changed. Maybe Jessica was right. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should just let it go. Be Emma's father, forget the journal, forget David, forget the lies. But every time I tried to convince myself, I heard Jessica's voice in my head. What Marcus doesn't know can't hurt him. She'd made that choice for me, made it 8 years ago, kept making it every single day. I opened the box. Emma came home from school on Thursday, our ice cream day. "Daddy, can we go to Sweet Cream?" "Sure, Em, but first I need to talk to you about something." She sat down on the couch, kicked her legs. She was 7, still small enough that her feet didn't touch the floor. "What's up?" "You know how sometimes doctors need to do tests to make sure people are healthy? Like when I got my blood drawn?" "Sort of like that, but easier. I need to do a quick test with you. It's called a cheek swab. They just rub a cotton swab on the inside of your cheek. Takes 2 seconds, doesn't hurt at all." "Why?" I'd practiced this lie, rehearsed it, hated every word. "It's so if I ever get sick, they know if you can be a bone marrow donor. It's just precautionary, just in case." Emma nodded. "Okay, will it hurt?" "Not even a little bit." "Okay." She opened her mouth. I swabbed her cheek, did mine, sealed them in the tubes, labeled them, put them in the envelope. Emma hopped off the couch. "Can we get ice cream now?" "Yeah, sweetheart, let's go." At Sweet Cream, Emma got her usual. Chocolate with gummy bears. I got coffee. Couldn't taste it. "Daddy, are you sick?" "What? No, honey, why?" "Because of the test. You said if you got sick." "I'm not sick. It's just in case. For the future. I'm totally healthy. I promise." She nodded, ate her ice cream. "Okay, because I want to help you if you get sick." "I know you do. I'm not scared. I want to help you." She hugged me. Ice cream sticky hands on my shirt. "Don't worry, Daddy. I'll take care of you." She wanted to save me. I was destroying her. The lie felt like acid. The lab said results would take 7 to 10 business days. Emma got sick on day 6. Not seriously, just stomach pain, but it got worse. I took her to urgent care. They sent us to the ER. 4 hours later, appendicitis. "She needs surgery," the doctor said. "Tonight, it's inflamed. If it ruptures, do it. Whatever she needs." They prepped her. I held her hand. She was scared. Daddy, will you be here when I wake up? I'm not going anywhere. Promise? Promise. They wheeled her away. I sat in the waiting room, 3 hours, 4. My phone buzzed, email notification. Lab results ready, log in to view. I stared at the email. Emma was in surgery, and my DNA results were ready. I couldn't look at them, not now, not while she was in surgery, not while she needed me. I waited 5 hours, 6. Finally, the doctor came out. Surgery went well. She's in recovery. You can see her soon. Emma woke up groggy, saw me, smiled. Daddy. Hey, sweetheart, you did great. You stayed. I promised. She fell back asleep. I sat next to her bed, held her hand. My phone buzzed again. The email was still there, waiting. I stood up, told the nurse I'd be back in 5 minutes, found the chapel. That's where I opened it. That's where I read the number. That's where everything ended. 0.00%. David showed up at the hospital that afternoon. I was getting coffee. Saw him at the end of the hall, standing outside Emma's room, not going in, just standing there, looking through the door window, looking at her the way I looked at her. The nurse saw him. Can I help you? I'm a family friend. Just checking in. Are you on the approved visitor list? No, I wanted to make sure she was okay. He left, but not before I saw his face, not before I saw the look in his eyes. Later, I checked the hospital visitor log. He'd signed in. David Richards, family friend. A card arrived in Emma's room that evening, delivered by a volunteer. Get well soon, kiddo, on the front. Inside, in pen, feel better soon. Uncle David? Uncle David. He'd drawn a little flower, added a sticker. The handwriting matched the signature in the visitor log. He didn't come in, didn't knock, didn't introduce himself, but he looked at her like he had a right to, because he did, biologically. I called Sarah from the hospital parking lot, sent her the DNA results, sent her a photo of David's card. Jesus, Marcus. Yeah. What do you want to do? I want justice. I want her to pay for this. I want David to pay for this. I want everyone to know what they did. Okay, then we go to court. We file for fraud. We document everything. We make this public. What about Emma? We protect Emma. That's priority 1. But Marcus, you can walk away from this. You can take the DNA results, divorce Jessica, and start over. No one would blame you. And let them get away with it? I'm just saying you have options. I looked up at the hospital, 3rd floor, Emma's room. She'd been asking for me every 10 minutes. Sarah, I need you to answer something honestly. Okay? If I do this, if I take them to court, will Emma hate me? Silence. I don't know. Maybe at first, but she'll understand eventually. Kids are smarter than we think. She drew me with a cape. What? Emma, in all her drawings. She draws me with a cape because I'm her superhero. You still are. Not after this. Marcus. Sarah's voice was firm. Heroes don't lie. They don't let bad people get away with bad things. They tell the truth even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Emma deserves the truth. Emma deserves the truth. I'd said that to Jessica. Now Sarah was saying it to me. File the paperwork, I said. Let's make sure this never happens to another man. I went back inside, back to Emma's room. She was awake, watching TV. Daddy. Hey, Em, feeling better? A little. My tummy hurts. I know, but you're tough. You're going to be okay. She held my hand. Daddy, when can we go home? Soon, sweetheart, soon. She fell asleep holding my hand. I kept the receipt, all the receipts, the hospital bills, the surgery costs, the parking garage tickets, every single piece of paper that proved I'd been there, that I'd shown up. Not because biology said I had to, but because love said I should. Even if that love was about to be tested in ways I never imagined. The court date was set for 3 months out. 3 months of preparing, 3 months of living in the same house as Jessica, but sleeping in different rooms. 3 months of pretending everything was normal for Emma's sake, except Emma knew something was wrong. Kids always know. 2 weeks before the trial, I got a call from Emma's school, the guidance counselor, Ms. Patterson. "Mr. Chen, I need you to come in. It's about Emma." I was there in 20 minutes. Ms. Patterson's office was small, colorful posters about feelings, a box of tissues on the desk, Emma's backpack in the corner. "Where's Emma?" "In the library with the librarian. She's okay, physically. But Mr. Chen, she created something in art class today that concerns us." She slid a piece of paper across her desk. Construction paper, yellow, 11 by 14, crayon artwork, 2 male figures, both tall, both drawn with care. One was labeled David in Emma's handwriting. He wore a crown, stood on the left side, smiling. One was labeled Marcus. That was me. I stood on the right side. I wore a cape, and on my chest she'd drawn a heart, colored it purple, then scribbled through it with black crayon, hard enough to nearly tear the paper. Then she'd added something, a small Band-Aid sticker, right over the broken heart, the title at the top in careful letters, "My Real Dad." Under David, biological. Under me, still my friend. I couldn't breathe. "Mr. Chen, she knows." "Knows what?" "Everything." Ms. Patterson leaned forward. "Emma overheard an argument between you and her mother. She heard the words DNA test and not your father and David. She's been processing this for weeks, alone." "Why didn't she tell me?" "She said she didn't want to make you sad." 7 years old, protecting me while her world fell apart. "Can I see her?" "In a moment, but Mr. Chen, our school psychologist, wants to meet with you. Her name is Dr. Patricia Rodriguez. She specializes in children dealing with family trauma. She's evaluated Emma's drawing. She has some thoughts." Dr. Rodriguez's office was down the hall. Professional, calm. She shook my hand, gestured to a chair. "Mr. Chen, I've spoken with Emma 3 times now. She's a remarkable child, emotionally intelligent, resilient, but she's hurting." "I know." "She's not angry at you. That's the first thing you should know. She's confused, she's sad, but she's not angry." "What is she angry about?" "The lies. She told me everyone knew but me. She feels like the secret was to protect the adults, not her." "It was to protect her." "Was it? Or was it to protect her mother?" I didn't answer. Dr. Rodriguez picked up the drawing. "This is actually incredibly healthy. Emma is processing complex emotions through art. She's categorizing relationships, making sense of a confusing situation." "She gave me a broken heart." "Yes, but look what else she gave you." The cape, the Band-Aid, the label, "Still my friend." "She's not rejecting you, Mr. Chen. She's redefining the relationship. She's saying you're not my biological father, but you're still important to me." That's profound. That's grace. From a 7-year-old. She gave me a cape, a broken heart, and the title, "But Still My Friend." 7 years old, and she understood more about love than her mother ever did. Emma and I went to the park that afternoon. Sat on the swings. I didn't push her, just sat next to her, waited. "Daddy?" "Yeah." "Am I still your daughter?" "Emma." Because I know I'm not. Not really. "I heard you and Mommy. I heard about David. I know." I got off my swing, knelt in front of hers, looked at her face. She had Jessica's eyes, but she had my expressions. 7 years of learning how to smile from watching me smile. "Emma, listen to me. You are my daughter. You always have been. Biology doesn't change that." "Then why are you mad at Mommy?" "Because Mommy lied, not to you, to me, about something very important. And lying is wrong, even when you think you have a good reason." "Is David my real dad?" The question I'd been dreading. "Biologically, yes, he's your biological father, but biology is it's just science. It's DNA. It doesn't mean he gets to be your dad. Not after 7 years. Not after everything. Do I have to see him? Not if you don't want to. I don't want to. Okay. Are you going to leave me? My voice broke. Never. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be here. Still going to take you for ice cream on Thursdays. Still going to help with homework. Still going to be at your soccer games. Nothing changes that. But you're not my dad. I'm not your biological father, but I'm still Marcus, and if you want me to be in your life, I'll be there. However you want me there. She thought about this, kicked her feet. The swing creaked. Can you still be my superhero? I was crying now. Couldn't help it. Yeah, sweetheart. I can still be your superhero. She hugged me. Tight. You're not my dad anymore, but you're still my Marcus. Is that okay? Through tears. That's more than okay. That's perfect. If someone in your life chose you, even when they didn't have to, I want to hear about it. Drop their name in the comments. Let's celebrate the people who prove family isn't just blood. The courthouse was downtown. Old building, marble steps, high ceilings. Sarah met me outside. Professional suit, briefcase, game face. Ready? No. Good, means you're taking it seriously. She squeezed my shoulder. We've got this. Every piece of evidence, every document, every receipt. They don't have a defense. What about Emma? Emma's not testifying. Her drawing will be submitted, but she won't be in the courtroom. Judge's chambers only, if needed. We protect her first. We walked inside, through security, up 2 floors, courtroom 4B. Jessica was already there, with her lawyer, a man in an expensive suit with silver hair and a face that said he won cases. Jessica looked at me. I looked away. We sat. Sarah organized papers. The judge entered. Everyone stood. Judge Helena Morrison, early 60s, silver hair pulled back, reading glasses. She looked at both sides with the expression of someone who'd heard everything twice. Be seated. Case number 47829. Chen versus Chen. Plaintiff alleges paternity fraud. Defendant contests. Opening statements. Jessica's lawyer stood. His name was William Bradford. Sarah had warned me about him. Your Honor, this is a case about a bitter man seeking revenge on his ex-wife. Marcus Chen raised Emma for 7 years. He was her father in every meaningful way. He signed the birth certificate. He claimed her on his taxes. He introduced her as his daughter. And now, because his marriage failed, he wants to punish Jessica Chen for moving on with her life. He wants to abandon a child he raised. He wants financial compensation for being a father. This is vindictive. This is cruel. This is not what our legal system should support. He sat down, looked satisfied. The courtroom murmured. I felt eyes on me, judging. Sarah stood. Your Honor, this man wants to abandon a child he raised for 7 years. She paused. Let it hang there. That's what opposing counsel just said, and it's a lie, just like everything else in this case is built on a lie. She walked to the center of the room. Marcus Chen doesn't want to abandon Emma. He loves Emma. He's been at every doctor's appointment, every school event, every moment that mattered. He's been there because he thought he was her father, because Jessica Chen told him he was her father, because Jessica Chen knew there was a chance he wasn't, and she lied about it anyway. Sarah's voice was calm, precise, deadly. This isn't about a failed marriage. This is about fraud. Deliberate, calculated, sustained fraud for 7 years. And the evidence will show that Jessica Chen knew from before Emma was even born that David Richards might be the biological father. She knew. She hid it. She let Marcus build a life with a child who wasn't his. She let him pay for everything, medical expenses, education, childcare. She let him love that child, and she never told him the truth. Sarah walked back to our table, picked up a folder. The evidence will show that Marcus Chen wants justice for 7 years of fraud. There's a difference. She sat down. The judge looked at both sides. Proceed with evidence. Sarah called me to the stand first. established the timeline, the marriage, the birth, the 7 years of fatherhood, the discovery. Then she entered evidence. Exhibit A, wedding photograph. She held it up. The framed photo from our mantle. Then she turned it around. On the back, in Jessica Chen's handwriting, forever yours, J, 3 months and counting, 5/12/2016. The wedding date. Your Honor, Emma was born February 10th, 2017, 9 months after this wedding, but Jessica Chen was already 3 months pregnant when she wrote this. She knew Marcus wasn't necessarily the father. Objection, speculation. Overruled. The timeline is relevant. Continue. Exhibit B, hospital bracelet from Emma's birth. Sarah placed it under a document camera, magnified. The whole courtroom could see it on the screen. You can see here under magnification that the father's name was written, crossed out, and rewritten. 2 different pen types, 2 different pressure levels. Someone changed this after the fact. She called a document examiner, expert testimony, 15 minutes of technical analysis. The examiner concluded the original name was obscured, but forensic analysis shows 2 distinct writing events. Exhibit C, private investigator report. Private. Sarah walked through it, page by page. Restaurant receipts showing Jessica and David together on dates when she told me she was on business trips. Hotel charges. Timeline analysis showing the affair began before Emma's conception. The courtroom was silent. Exhibit D, DNA test results. Sarah held up the lab report. Official seal certified. Probability of biological paternity between Marcus Chen and minor child 0.00%. She read it like a grocery receipt. Clinical, precise. 8 years of fatherhood, 0% biology. Exhibit E, journal entries. Bradford objected. Private writings, not admissible. Judge Morrison reviewed. Overruled. The defendant's state of mind is relevant to the fraud claim. Continue, but select entries only. Sarah read them aloud. March 15th. The entry about being pregnant, about not knowing whose child it was, about choosing Marcus because he was stable and David wasn't ready. Jessica's mother left the courtroom. The defendant wrote, "What Marcus doesn't know can't hurt him. Emma needs stability, and David isn't father material. I'm choosing Marcus." She chose. She knew. She lied. Exhibit F, David Richards' hospital visitor log and card. Sarah showed the signature, showed the card. "Get well soon, kiddo," in David's handwriting. David Richards knew. He stayed in the background, but he knew. He signed the hospital log. He sent a card. He referred to Emma as kiddo because he's the biological father, and he knew it. Exhibit G, Emma's drawing. Sarah held it up briefly, then put it face down. This was created by Emma after she overheard the truth. It shows 2 men, David labeled biological, Marcus labeled still my friend. The child understands what the adults refuse to acknowledge. Biology doesn't make you a father, but lying makes you a fraud. The judge leaned forward. "Ms. Chen, I'd like to hear from you now. Take the stand." Jessica stood, walked to the witness stand, sworn in. Sarah approached. "Ms. Chen, were you pregnant at your wedding?" "Yes." "Did you know there was a possibility that David Richards was the father?" Silence. "Ms. Chen, you're under oath." Yes. "Did you tell Marcus Chen about this possibility?" "No." "Why not?" "Because I didn't want to hurt him." "You didn't want to hurt him, so you let him raise another man's child for 7 years. You let him pay $47,000 in medical expenses, $23,000 in childcare, $18,000 in education costs. You let him believe he was a father, and you call that not hurting him?" Bradford stood. Objection. Argumentative. Sustained. Rephrase. "Ms. Chen, did you knowingly mislead Mr. Chen about Emma's paternity?" Jessica looked at her lawyer. He whispered something. She looked at the judge. "I made a choice. I chose what I thought was best for Emma." "That's not what I asked. Did you knowingly mislead Mr. Chen? Yes or no? Silence. 5 seconds. 10. Ms. Chen, the judge said, answer the question. Yes. The courtroom erupted. Whispers. Gasps. Judge Morrison banged her gavel. Order. Sarah returned to our table. No further questions. Bradford tried. He called character witnesses, friends who said Jessica was a good mother, colleagues who said she was professional. He painted a picture of a woman who made a mistake, not a fraudster. But it didn't matter. The evidence spoke louder. Then Sarah called David Richards to the stand. He wore a suit, nervous, kept glancing at Jessica. Mr. Richards, what is your relationship with Jessica Chen? We work together. Are you romantically involved? We've had a relationship. Yes. How long? About 8 years. Did you know Jessica was pregnant in 2016? Yes. Did you know you might be the father? He hesitated. Mr. Richards, you're under oath. Yes, I knew. Did you discuss this with Jessica? Yes. What did you discuss? We talked about what to do, about whether she should tell Marcus. And what did you decide? We decided that Marcus would be a better father, that he should think the baby was his. The courtroom went silent. You decided, together, to lie to Marcus Chen about the paternity of Emma. We thought it was best for the child. You thought it was best, or you thought it was easiest for you. Objection. Withdrawn. Sarah turned to the judge. No further questions. David stepped down. Didn't look at me, didn't look at Jessica. He looked at his shoes and walked out of the courtroom. The judge called a recess. 30 minutes. I sat in the hallway with Sarah. We've got this, she said. You know that, right? What happens to Emma? Emma gets the truth. Emma gets to decide what her relationship with you looks like, and Emma gets to grow up knowing that lies have consequences. She'll hate me. She drew you with a cape, Marcus. She doesn't hate you. When we returned, the judge had made her decision. I've reviewed all the evidence. I've heard testimony from both parties, and I've reviewed relevant case law regarding paternity fraud. She looked at Jessica, then at me. This court finds that Jessica Chen knowingly and deliberately misled Marcus Chen regarding the paternity of the minor child. This constitutes fraud. Furthermore, David Richards participated in this deception, making him equally culpable. Jessica's face crumbled. The court orders Jessica Chen to reimburse Marcus Chen for all documented expenses related to Emma's care. Medical, educational, and childcare costs total $88,347. The courtroom gasped. Additionally, the court awards Marcus Chen compensatory damages for emotional distress, $25,000. Furthermore, the court orders genetic testing to establish David Richards as the legal father with all attendant financial responsibilities going forward. The judge removed her glasses. Ms. Chen, you lied to your husband for 7 years. You allowed him to build his life around a child that wasn't his. You took his money, his time, his love, and you gave him nothing but deception in return. That is not a mistake. That is not a difficult choice. That is fraud. She banged her gavel. This court is adjourned. Not a mistake, not a misunderstanding. Fraud. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited. Local news. They wanted a statement. Sarah handled it. Justice was served today. This case isn't about revenge. It's about accountability. It's about protecting men who step up to be fathers from being deceived about paternity. Marcus Chen loved Emma. He still loves Emma, but he deserved the truth. A reporter called out, "Mr. Chen, will you maintain a relationship with Emma?" I stepped forward. Sarah nodded. Emma is 7 years old. She didn't ask for any of this. She didn't deserve to be lied to. and she didn't deserve to have her family torn apart, but she deserved the truth. I took a breath. I don't need a court to tell me I love her. I don't need biology to tell me that the last 7 years mattered, but I needed the truth. Emma needed the truth, and Emma deserved to grow up in a world where lies have consequences. Will you see her again? That's up to Emma. If she wants me in her life, I'll be there. Not as her father, not legally, but as someone who will always care about her, someone who will always show up. As family? As chosen family. Sometimes that matters more than blood. 3 months passed. The dust settled. Jessica paid the reimbursement. David started paying child support. The legal system moved on. I moved on too. New apartment, new routine, new normal. I missed Emma every day, but I didn't reach out. She needed space. She needed time. And then one Thursday, Ice Cream Thursday, a letter arrived. Child's handwriting on the envelope. To Marcus, in careful letters, inside another drawing. Construction paper, crayons. Just one person this time, me, with a cape, smiling. And underneath, in Emma's handwriting, "Thank you for not lying to me. Can we still get ice cream on Thursdays?" I called her immediately. Through tears, I said yes. Because some relationships aren't about biology. Some relationships are about showing up, about choosing each other, about proving that family can be built, not just born. That first Thursday, I picked Emma up at Jessica's house. Awkward, tense. But Emma ran out when she saw my car. "Marcus!" Not Daddy. Marcus. And that was okay. At Sweet Cream, Emma got chocolate with gummy bears. I got coffee. "I have a question," she said. "Okay. If you're not my dad, what are you?" I thought about it. "What do you want me to be?" "My friend, my grown-up friend, the one who shows up." "I can be that. Good." She ate her ice cream. "Also, I drew you something new." She pulled out a folded paper, another drawing, me with a cape. But this time the heart on my chest wasn't broken. It was whole, purple, with a gold star in the middle. "What's the star for?" "It's for heroes who tell the truth, even when it's hard." 7 years old, wiser than any adult I knew. "Can I keep this?" "It's yours. I made it for you." I folded it carefully, put it in my wallet, right next to the old drawing where I had a broken heart. Both versions of me, both real, both loved. I kept the receipt, every document, every truth, not for revenge, not to prove a point, but because truth matters. And Emma, she deserved the truth most of all. The truth that biology doesn't make a family. Love does, showing up does, choosing each other does. The truth that some lies are too big to forgive, but some relationships are too important to abandon. The truth that justice isn't always about winning. Sometimes it's just about making sure everyone knows what really happened. And the truth that on Thursdays, at Sweet Cream, there's a 7-year-old girl who orders chocolate with gummy bears. And I'm the one who takes her there. Not because I have to, because I choose to. And she chooses me back.